How we doing today, folks? This is the techgooch once again with another video review. This time I will be doing a review on a computer itself. And since I haven't done a review for a while, I apologize. But a lot of things came up at once and work got real busy and just didn't have the mental capacity to do it. So I started yet again with another awesome video review on another Apple product. And let's just go ahead and get into it. So here it is. This is my new MacBook Air. I got it about a month and a half ago or so, and I've been playing with it ever since, of course. Everybody knows what the packaging looks like, probably for the most part. Like any other Apple product, it is very well packaged. Inside, it has little protective sleeves and stuff like that. Comes with that, and then it comes with the charger. And that's it with the MacBook Air. There's no software that comes with it or anything like that. Everything is done over the air. From Apple electronically. So that said, that's the box. Nothing biggie. But of course, the MacBook Air itself is very sexy. You're looking at a product that is ridiculously thin for as powerful of a computer that it actually is. I had a Dell Mini Netbook before, sold that to get this. Of course, I have the spec hard cover on it, which basically just pops on. If I can actually get the dang thing back off, it actually holds on the sides, if I remember right. I don't want to break it. But it actually, yeah, there they are, holds on in specific spots on the side just by grabbing on with those little plastic hooks right there. And maybe I should pop that off and I'll log in for you too. But so actually, you know what? Really, the operating system is a separate review all by itself. I'm really going to focus mainly on the hardware, not the software. Lion is fantastic. I have nothing but actually great things to say about it for the most part. And especially when more apps use what Lion has to offer, everything's going to be great. But with that said, the hardware itself, first you have a very large touchpad. Just like the MacBook Pro, basically the same touchpad. The whole touchpad itself is actually a button. The only problem with the touchpad that I found is that if you click and hold something, when you get up to this top spot right here, it will actually let go of it. And I'll actually maybe show you that here in a second. The backlit keyboard. First of all, the keyboard itself, very nicely spaced, very comfortable on the hands. I prefer this over any keyboard that I've ever had on any of my computers. Specifically the laptops and the netbooks. The netbooks have always been crammed, obviously, but the laptops beat any of my Dell laptops or Alienware that I've used before as well. Love the keyboard. It is very responsive. Haven't had any keys that didn't respond very well, so I mean I have nothing but great things to say about that. As well as the backlit keys are fantastic. You can actually vary the backlight from nothing and all the way up to nice and totally bright. I kind of like it towards the bottom a little bit. Same with with all the different quick keys up here. There's the function buttons. You have the display brightness that you can change as well with it. So you can kind of vary that depending. Obviously, the more dimmer you have it, the longer battery life you're going to get. The speaker, which actually I believe is actually embedded into this inner bezel here, produces the best laptop sound I've ever had to date without actually having speakers on the sides. Like my brothers have MacBook Air, MacBook Pros, they have fantastic speakers. But without actually seeing the speakers on this produces amazingly awesome sound. And I'll actually demo that as well here shortly. As with any of the other MacBooks, you're also going to have your little camera, which works actually pretty dang good. That's what that picture's from. But I don't use a whole lot because I don't really do a whole lot of airtime or anything like that, even with my FaceTime, even with my wife and me both having iPhones. I guess we just see each other enough that we don't need it. But, so that's the inner layouts. The sides, as you've probably seen on other videos or whatever, you have the standard charge or MagSafe charger port. Love that. That's the best feature almost about the outside. On this side you have a single USB 2.0 port and your headphone jack. I believe that actually is the microphone as well on the side there. So that's that. Flipping it around now, you have on this side similar features that you have on a lot of different our laptops, with a standard SD card reader here on the side here. Standard things, so you can actually expand or obviously just read off of a memory card. Another USB 2.0 slot, and then you have the Mac Thunderbolt connection, which is basically a mini DisplayPort connection. Using this, you can use output the monitor support to a separate display, meaning that a monitor itself or a TV, you can get a lot of adapter cables that could convert this to DVI, HDMI, VGA, a whole bunch of different ones, and then you can also get, and they're now producing hard drives that use this Thunderbolt connection, so you get a lot faster connection than the USB. So, with that said, that is the MacBook Air. Now, obviously, mine looks a little thicker because I have the fancy spec case. It's not that much thicker, but I'm all about protecting this baby. I did want to say one other thing is, where I said that the, I believe the speaker is in here, so is the fan. There is a fan built into this. It does not come on unless it's absolutely needed. If you are using or playing a game or doing anything that's going to use a CPU pretty heavily, it does get warm and the fan does kick on, and this whole port here blows the hot air out. If nothing else, you can probably think of it as it sucks in from the top and then blows out the bottom, one or the other. It must have an in and out on this, both on this back panel here, because otherwise I don't see where it's coming from. It works fantastically though. I've never had any overheating issue. It doesn't get near as hot as my Dell does. The fan works much better, and if you stop playing a game, that fan will cool it down actually pretty rapidly, and then it'll turn off. So that makes me happy, if nothing else. So with that said, I'm going to show you a few things. Nothing really with the operating system, but I'll log in here and I'll show you a couple things. Okay, so here we are now logged in and everything. I was going to show you that one thing with the trackpad real quick that I think that isn't a big deal to me actually, but my brother actually found it quite annoying. So if you actually take and click on something with one finger, you can move it with the second finger. However, if you're more attuned to just clicking and holding and moving things around with the finger, if you click and hold, like if I move it down here so you can actually see, and I go up, when I hit to a certain point, it doesn't want to click anymore, and then it'll re-click. Hear that? If you're right up in here, right up in this section of the trackpad, you'll actually lose the click. It won't hold that button down. Not a big deal, because I'm more of the tune where click and then use the other finger to roll it around, because then it won't matter because you're holding the button down no matter what. So I just wanted to point that out. That is one thing that a lot of people have been talking about, and I do notice it. It is on, I think, every single one of these. It's just inherent in the design of a single button with a gigantic trackpad. But to me, not a big issue, but it is an issue. So it's something that they probably should address in the future. But knowing Apple, they probably won't. So that said, not an Apple fanboy, just like a lot of their products. Let's see. Another thing that is, I mean, I guess most of the other stuff, to be honest, is with the actual operating system itself. But I did want to show you, I guess, some of the sounds. So if I just go to my music collection here and just play a song that I bought off. No, turn. I don't know how well you'll be able to hear it on the video itself, but the sound is actually emanating from this whole area. So it's the sound is actually quite nice. Another thing is, I guess, it has to do with the software, but the ability for the trackpad to pick up your multiple fingers. So I have mine set up so 4 fingers swipe between my desktop layouts, I guess, or desktop cards. 3 fingers is my back button, and you can set these up a different way, but so if I use 3 fingers and pinch in, it'll bring up my apps. So that it works quite well. Every so often I have to do it twice, but it's more, I guess, my fingers than anything else, and just getting used to the whole pinching and stuff. So if you take 3 fingers and your thumb, oh, I did it wrong, geez, I'm not paying attention, at the same time, and then pinch in. See, I did it again. And then if you do the same thing and pinch out, it'll shut it back down, or you can just click and it'll back out. Either way, that's more of an operating system thing than anything, but once you get used to it, it works quite well, and it'll actually pick up how many fingers you have laid down. The trackpad is quite amazing. They did quite a fantastic job with the trackpad itself. All in all, can't say anything but absolutely fantastic things about the MacBook Air. I bought the 128 gigabyte version. Didn't think I needed the 256 because I don't do a whole lot of video editing or anything like that. And I didn't want the 11-inch. I wanted the 13-inch screen. They did put the resolution of the screen is fantastic. The resolution is I believe 1440 by 800 if I remember right. Don't hold me to that because I could be a little off, I guess, on that. But let's see. I guess I can do it. Yeah, 1440 by 900. I apologize. It is much better. My last 13-inch Dell was 1280 by 800, so it is a very nice screen size for the 13 inches, and you still get a lot of screen real estate. So that said, that's my review of the MacBook Air. It is quite peppy. I know that there's been a lot of people saying that the memory or the hard drive, the internal solid state drive that they use isn't the fastest, but I guess I can do a restart. I have a lot of programs open and stuff like that, so the restart coming back in should take a little extra long and probably closing everything down. But to be honest, a full restart of this is a fraction of how long it takes my Dell to even just shut down. And I had a Core 2 Duo Dell. It was an M1330. It's a couple years old, but it's not near what this system is. Okay, maybe I'll just hit the power button. Maybe did I hit shut down? I must have hit shut down. I apologize. Okay, my bad. So it's obviously coming back online now. This is how long it takes to literally boot up from a cold boot. It was completely off there. It takes, I guess I didn't even count the seconds, but like 15 seconds, I guess. And of course, there we are. Now we're to the login screen. So I guess I can put my login stuff. There we go. Hit enter. And there we go. Now the great thing, now everything from here on out is basically Lion doing its stuff, putting everything back to exactly how I had it. Opening up iTunes, putting iTunes where I had it, putting my numbers. Now Chrome doesn't like to do this. It'll start back up in the background, but if you use Safari rather than Chrome, it'll actually load back up if you had it in a separate page and open up all your tabs automatically for you. However, in Chrome, you got to do it yourself. So, and then they have a little button here that expands it. So, and you can't even see what I was doing because I have my camera too low. So anyway, but that's all based within Mac OS X Lion. So with that said, this is the review on the MacBook Air. Fantastic product. I recommend anybody that likes to have a light, thin, beautiful laptop, and you don't need enormous amounts of storage, or you don't do video editing and stuff like that. You can still do a lot of this stuff on here. It's just not as powerful as the MacBook Pros. But that second gen Core i7, or I have the second gen Core i5, is fantastic nonetheless. So with that said, awesome laptop. If you have a desktop separate to do all if you're video editing or photo editing, anything that uses a lot of resources or it demands a lot of storage, you may want to skip this. But to me, this is the perfect laptop because laptops are not meant to be the main computer. In my opinion, I have a desktop. So with that said, that's the MacBook Air. Fantastic product, and I hope you enjoyed it. So there you have it. My opinions are my opinions, but I do really love the MacBook Air. Typically, with any product, obviously, you're usually infatuated in love with it when you first buy it, and then usually it tones down. The MacBook Air to me is similar to the iPhone was to me, where it's the first phone that I purchased, and even to date, I still absolutely love it. I have no qualms about purchasing that phone. So the same thing with the MacBook Air. I have no problems. I am so happy I did it. I'm so happy I chose the MacBook Air or the MacBook Pro for myself. But there are some benefits to the MacBook Pro. So to each their own. With that said, please comment below, subscribe above if you like the video. I do have plans for a lot more videos. I just hope to get around them. I do want to do some app reviews here in the next few days, so make sure you check out my other channel, Appgooch. I'll see if I can't post a link down below for you. Otherwise, check us out, goochpicker.com, just like it sounds, and we'll post all my hard copy reviews on there. Usually I try to get them up within a few days of putting the video up, but I just want to get the video up, so specifically because I've been slacking lately. So with that said, thank you much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for another review. Thanks.